Hello, follower of One community. This video is specifically for the ladies, but the men are happy to watch it so that you can tell the ladies that you know and follower of One all about it. We are excited to begin a follower of One ladies group, and I have invited Lynn Farrell and Frances Lucas and Heather Schaefer to join us. They are kind of the brain women behind this. And we always want to share a little bit about the heart behind it and how you can get involved. And so my first question to the three of you, and I don't care who answers it, is what prompted you guys to think about starting up a women's group?
Well, I can answer, and if somebody else has something to add, that's perfectly fine. But I was watching Mike's interview with Lynn, and she was talking about her passion for women and giving them hope and faith. And I had commented as I was listening that it'd be great to have a women's network within this group. And she has experience with women's retreats. And so when I made that comment, we connected and we talked a little bit. And that's where we are now. This is how far we have come.
Great. And I have been remiss. I should actually introduce all of you before we get into the questions. So Frances, since you're talking, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Okay. I'm Frances Lucas. I live in Alabama. I've been with Follower of One for about 8 months maybe. And I've been on 2 mission trips. And I really have enjoyed meeting people and learning a lot about how to grow with God.
Thank you. Lynn, why don't you go next?
Okay, my name's Lynn Farrell. I actually live in the DC area in Arlington, Virginia. And I joined Follower of One a couple of months ago and just finished my first mission trip, which I really enjoyed. What I like most about this group is that it's daily inspiration. It's daily sharing struggles and successes and just really being real with each other and just knowing that I'm surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses here at Follower of One. So.
Thank you. Heather?
I'm Heather Schaefer. I've been with Follower of One now 4 months. Wow, time flies. This is my second mission trip and really enjoy this community and meeting wonderful ladies like the three of you, and look forward to meeting more.
Thank you. And that brings us right into my next question. You know, how do you envision the ladies group working within the framework of Follower of One? Because you're not replacing Follower of One. It's simply an additional opportunity. But in fact, I would love for all three of you to just kind of share a little bit about how you envision it working within the community.
All I was going to say is I don't, as you said, Chris, I don't see it as replacing it. I see it as a supplement. I feel like there are occasions when we women just need each other, and we love the men and their insight is great, but we're created a little differently. And so I think I see it as being something that will, it'll be a space for me to really connect with women at that level and and grow and continue to share each other's lives and be a community. Even though we're far from each other, we're still one in Christ. And I feel like that is something that's very unique and hard to find.
Heather, why don't you go ahead since you started to say something?
One of the things that I see as a win is just a space where we can all come together and just be real. Like Lynn says in her scene, right now, media Bible study. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. Yes, I'm plugging one. It is an amazing Bible study. I'm not even done with it yet, and ladies, it's amazing. We all wear masks, and we're all superficial to a certain point. And what I see with this group is very real, very unmasked. We just come together as who we are and vulnerable, and we're there for each other. We lift each other up regardless of what's going on in our lives.
And that means you to wrap us up, Francis.
Okay. Well, I love the connection that we have in the mission trips where we, talk about how our day was, what did we learn, what did we do, and those 2 weeks were really special, and so it would not take that place of that, obviously, at all. But it's good to have that continuation of connection during that 6 or 8 weeks, in between the mission trips, where we can continue to connect with each other, support one another, and learn what each other's doing with regard to discipleship, and maybe what they're studying, what devotions they're reading. Just learn from each other.
And so when we originally were brainstorming about this, we kind of came up with an idea about a rhythm for gathering and a rhythm for between gatherings. Lynn, why don't you share a little bit more about that?
Well, we had, like any newborn idea, it will probably morph 1,000 times before we solidify it, and then morph another 1,000 times after we think we've solidified it. So we are kind of just being led by the Spirit right now. And I think we agreed that we wanted it to kind of follow the same flow, sort of the same theme as what Follower of One is doing. So we had thought meeting once a month would be great. We will post a question a few weeks before the actual meeting date. And then so women have time to pray about it and ponder it. And then we come together and discuss it. It's really, I think I got that right. Isn't that what we decided?
Yes, so did we.
Okay, good.
Does anybody else want to add anything?
Ladies, if you want to post your thoughts on that question before the live stream, you're more than welcome to. And we can get conversation going that way as well before the live stream.
Yes, and just so everybody knows, everybody's very familiar with the main Follower of One space where you can post things, there are events and everything. It's very similar to that structure, but it's going to be a private space just for the Follower of One women. And you will be able to post things, and as led, we'll have events such as monthly meetings and fun stuff that may come up that we'll be inviting the ladies to. But it's a similar feel, and so it's not learning anything different. It's simply just taking what you already knew how to do in the Follower of One community and just doing it in that particular space. And I think the last question I would ask before I open it up for kind of final thoughts is, how do you expect, and what is your kind of thought process around growing together as a Follower of One women's community?
Well, I think growing together as women, women, we know how important it is to have connections with friends and fellow believers. We see that in our church. We need each other. I think about Ecclesiastes 4:9. 2 is better than 1 because we have a good return for our labor. That's my version of it. But we need each other, and the more we can let one another know that we're here for them, that they're not alone, and we can support and pray for them, and then offer, share ideas, offer resources, that kind of stuff. I really feel that would be important with this women's group.
Anybody else want to chime in?
No, I think Lynn covered a good portion of it, and so did Francis.
All right.
And I love what you threw in there, Chris, that I had kind of forgotten about, which is the continuous communication between the women in the group. And I anticipate that will, praying for each other and sharing our thoughts on topics will knit us together in a special way.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we always want, we love it when our community members get to know each other one-on-one too. So anybody that's in the community, you are welcome to reach out to them and private message them and say, hey, let's schedule a one-on-one for no reason other than to get to know each other. It's not to sell, it's not to ask for money, it's just literally to build relationships. So feel free to do that we highly encourage it.
I was going to say that's a great point too, because I'm in another Christian group and we do coffee chats, and you really get to know somebody in that 20 to 30 minutes. You talk about what you do and you find things you have in common with each other, and that just helps you to, build that relationship even more.
Absolutely. And so the first gathering is going to be on August 18th at 7 o'clock Eastern time. And that's actually going to be a Zoom meeting. So we'll make sure and get that ready. For right now, because this group is private, we will need people to kind of reach out and say, hey, I'd like to join the Follower of One women's group. And then I'll go ahead, or one of us will approve you to get into the group. But overall, is there any other final comments that any three of you want to make before we launch this and let Jesus run with it?
One of the things I do want to say is what's said in the group, ladies, stays in the group. So any prayer requests and if life event, that stays in our group. It does not go outside of our group or the main Follower of One. That's literally within our group.
Absolutely, it will be a safe space. Yes.
Yeah.
Anything else?
One of the things I just want to mention is when I was, before I was a believer, actually, I joined a women's Bible study. And the thing that drew me initially to Christ is the way these women loved each other. And so I want to make it a safe space for women who don't yet know the Lord as well. I think that women who are seeking, women who are open to it, could join us as easily. So feel free to invite your friends, even if they haven't joined Follower of One or if they don't know the Lord. I think that this is how they see Christ's body amongst women. A lot of women have been harmed by women over the years. They've been harmed by men as well. But there's a special thing that happens when women truly love each other in the name of Christ, and it's something really fascinating and compelling. So I want to encourage you to do that.
Yeah, that's a good point. In fact, when I was an adjunct professor teaching a course that I had created about being a marketplace missionary, and one of the parts of the course that I really dug into was the fact that the early church did not preach. The regular congregation, the apostles preached, but the early church did not preach. They simply lived Jesus. And the way we love each other is our best witness. And so being able to just love each other, support and encourage each other is the witness. And whether or not people accept Jesus as Messiah is not our responsibility. It's Jesus's. We just love and let him do what he does. So
Absolutely.
it's a good point. All right, ladies, any other final words before we wrap up and invite everybody to come?
Well, looking forward to seeing y'all.
All righty. Well, thank you for joining us. We are going to wrap it up. I will put in this post with the live stream recording a link to the private space, and we will absolutely look forward to having you there. If you have any questions, all four of us are hosts in the space. You can reach out to any of us for anything you need. And if we don't know the answer, we'll let you know we don't know, and we'll go find it for you. So we look forward to having you connect and join with us. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.